Hi, this is May.
And I'm Joy.
Welcome to the QWERTY Writing Life podcast, where we have candid chats about our creative lives.
May and I are friends, writers, and creatives who want to share our endeavors out loud.
On this podcast, we're here to encourage each other, and you too,
and share tools we've discovered or made up.
So you can follow your passions with a little support. So grab your tea
or your coffee,
and let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week.
Hello, welcome back.
We are going to talk about Kickstarting Creativity, Ep.2. So last episode, we kickstarted our own personal creativity. So now you're going to help others enjoy creativity as well, once again.
So it's paying it forward.
Let's go into our creative weeks. Joy, what did you do?
Okay, so you and I both are enjoying a just absolutely amazing writing class from the incredible Maggie Stiefvater. And so one of the biggest things this past week was to kind of think through, and this is going to come into an episode that we're going to hopefully do for you guys in a few weeks, about how to get the most out of a creative class. Okay, so you have all these opportunities. I feel like especially right now, a lot of people are given like free classes and you want to take advantage of it. But I think that the most important thing is to make sure that you don't just consume this, but you take it and put it into what you're doing in life, and you actually figure out what you've learned from it, and then you put that into practice. And so that's what we really, really wanted to do with Maggie's class, because guys, this is an incredible, amazing class for us. So we kind of started out with just a little bit of a template about getting the most from a creative class, and we decided that we were going to use our experience with this to kind of mold and shape that and kind of adjust the questions that we wanted. So it's got a before the class or webinar or workshop or whatever you're doing, during, and immediately after, and then an after, so that you're actually setting aside and you're thinking through, okay, this is the time that I need to really devote to this. It's not just 1 hour. It's, I need the time before and after as well to get the most out of it. And so that's been a lot of fun to just kind of think through those questions and think about how we can get the absolute most out of this that we can and change ourselves for the better.
Absolutely. So be looking out for upcoming episodes about how to get the most out of a learning situation. We're going to perfect our skills first before we share them with you, so that we know that we're giving you really good information. And part of that class there's been an idea generation exercise. And so building ideas is a bit of a muscle, and just like any muscle, you can exercise that to become better at it and become stronger at it. And so one of the things that we did in the seminar was create a premise, and it was a lot of fun. So Maggie gave us a prompt, and we took that prompt and kind of ran with it with her guidelines. And that was an exciting situation. It sparked my creativity. I think it sparked Joy's too.
Absolutely.
So it's very exciting, and actually flows right along with this whole series of kickstarting creativity.
And another fun thing with the idea generation is we got to share what we each came up with, and that was so much fun. And that really plays into this episode because, hey, we got to see what each other created and share that.
That's true. And Joy had some really great ideas about my premise, and I got to share some things like what her premise kind of sparked in me, and got to share those with her. So maybe one day there will be stories based off of these premises, which would be really cool. But if not, it was just fun to banter and brainstorm about something that is purely just creative energy. And so that's been fun today. We actually did that before we started recording, so we're all kind of like living off of the adrenaline. So woohoo!
That's that glow you see. That's not sweat.
So to jump right into the topic, we've got our Kickstarting Others Creativity today. And now that you are feeling more creative, we want to ask the question, how can you bring back that creative feeling in those around you? Yeah, I
I'm
did it.
so seeing that scene in Top Gun.
I did that on purpose. Yeah, we both love Top Gun. So if you haven't seen it, go watch that immediately. Just stop this episode and just go watch Top Gun and then come back and join us.
We'll watch it with you. Just let us know. We'll just, we'll have a big Top Gun watch party.
Let's do it already. Let's just do it for fun.
So I also was thinking that it's a little bit like jumping off a car battery. So like if your friend, if you're in a parking lot and you both go to leave and your friend's car doesn't start, hopefully you're resourceful and you know how to use one and you have a jump pack in your car, right? And you can go and jump your friend off so that they can go and get a new battery if they need to or whatever, just get home safely. So I feel like this is a little bit like that. You're jump starting the creative battery for your friend.
Because your battery has to have some juice in it before you can jump off your friend's car. So perfect analogy.
So one of the things that you can do is, first of all, ask them what their favorite creative pastime is if you don't know, because you may not. You may have, we're kind of lucky in the fact that we both love to write. We also have some other creative passions in common, and we know what each other's creative passions are. But maybe your best friend happens to be a super creative person, but you guys maybe have never talked about that. Okay, so maybe you just know a little bit about what they like to do, or maybe you have an idea that they like to do creative things, but you don't really know a whole lot about it. So start off by asking them. Or if you do know what their creative outlet is, ask them how it's going. Okay, so sometimes it just takes asking that question, because you may not know. Your friend might be struggling and just feeling like they don't have anything left in the creative well, but you may not know it if you don't ask how things are going with that creative medium. And sometimes just asking those questions will start to stir those creative juices. Showing them that you care lets them know that there is value in their creative endeavors. And that's something that we've talked about, so many different kinds of creative mediums, and how there's so much value in that, and how we were created to create. Like it's in our very being. So just showing them that you care about it is a huge thing in itself.
Kind of piggybacking off of that topic, I think that sometimes people are in a place where just having one more decision is just too much for them. Life just gets to us sometimes. Try to include them in on what you're doing, even if it's not what they normally do. So sometimes we are so far gone that we can't even fathom coming up with an idea to do anything creative with. So if that's where your friend is, then let them in on yours until they can kind of coax their creativity awake. In the last episode, we talked about how you can make that step. And if you've done that and you're looking at your friend and you're saying, maybe they need a little bit of help too, just a phone call that says, hey, why don't you come over and we can both knit or or cook something or paint something or write something or whatever that medium is. Like if you can bring them in on your creative journey, then that could be something that helps them to wake up a little bit.
Yes, that is such a great point. And I was going to say something similar, just if you do have the same creative passion, actually set aside and plan a time to do that. That's something that we've talked about doing, and with our photography, to just go and have a photo shoot together, just go to a pretty location or something like that. And so sometimes it may be something that you have to plan ahead for, and, because we don't live in the same town. So for us, that would require some planning. So maybe it's that kind of situation where you're going to have to set those plans and get your calendars out and figure out when to do it.
Yes, I think that would be good as well. Something else that you could try to help out a friend would be to try something completely new with your friend. So maybe it's not their creative passion, or maybe it's not your creative passion, but just to try to do something together. It could be fun and it could wake up your friend's dormant creativity. And it's just, it doesn't have to be a long-term thing. but it could totally be a good laugh because you're both going to be pretty bad at it if it's something completely new.
That's true.
And it just revives that relationship. It revives that bond, and also gives your friend a safe place to kind of just rest in that for a little while their creativity is healing.
That's a good point. Yes. So, another thing that I thought about, and this is maybe not as deep, but it could help to watch a favorite movie or show with them. So, like, you might know what their favorite movie or show. Like, I remember in college, I went through this phase, and I don't know if you remember this or not. This would have been sophomore year when we were like right across the hall from each other. I went through this phase of watching The Wedding Planner like every single day. It was insane. And I don't really know why I did that, and I am so not going to psychoanalyze that right now. But I did. Okay.
Matthew McConaughey. Let's be honest. Well, we know why you did that.
McConaughey. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I was just going through this thing where, I thought I wanted to be a wedding planner or something. I don't know. Anyway, whatever the case, I had a favorite movie at that point. There have been other favorite movies through the years. I know you turned me on to the Decoy Bride, which I absolutely adored, and I could totally see myself watching that like every day. But whatever it is, maybe it's a movie or a show, watch it together, like plan a movie night. Or if you have a favorite book, like talk it through. And that's something else that you and I do that is so much fun is, you share with me some of the favorite books that you've read, and you tell me about the characters and like the parts of the book that you just loved so much. And, I do the same thing, and it's just fun to recall, or to lead them to recall the plot, the emotion, the thing about that book, movie, whatever, that just does it for them, that just makes it such a great thing. And so, yeah, that's another idea.
I kind of remember the spark from before and see if it can help.
Yeah.
If you can recreate that. That's really good. I like that one.
Yeah, well, thank you.
So the last one that I had was just a very simple word, actually, and it's just to listen to your friend. And I got to thinking about how in the last episode we talked about how sometimes you just need a break, and how we could look at that in this episode and transfer that from giving ourselves a break to helping someone else. And there are so many reasons why we shut down creatively. And sometimes those reasons are really simple, like there's a lack of sleep or added responsibilities in your life. But sometimes the reasons are much more complicated. And so I'm not suggesting that you try to fix your friend, but I am suggesting that having someone to listen and to empathize with you is a gift. And if you can give that to your friend, that might be the thing that they need at that moment.
That's beautiful. And I think that, you said that it's simple, and it is in some ways, but man, it is so important. And I think that it's something that we all forget to do, and we forget the importance of. I feel like that it's a timely thing to say too at this point, to listen. I think all of us should do that more in just life in general. But yes, definitely here listening and just being there.
Yes, and as we talk through all of these things, I'm finding a common thread here between your tips and tricks and my tips and tricks. And I think that is just being observant with the relationships that are around you and noticing what the people around you need and seeing if you can fulfill that need in some way. So what you're doing in every single tip that we've suggested here, what it seems like you're doing is fortifying a relationship and building a bond between a person and you. And that's just human. That's just being a good human and living life to the fullest, because what is life if not relationships? And in the first episode in the series, you're kind of building a relationship with yourself. You're getting to know yourself in a way that is stronger. You're getting to know all the nooks and crannies. And so in this episode, we're asking you to do that with someone else and know their nooks and crannies and just be observant. Notice when they are thriving and notice when they are not, and try to just be there and ready to help when you can.
All right. I feel like we might be ready for a challenge. What do you think?
Well, I definitely think that we are ready for a QWERTY challenge. What you got for us, Joy?
Okay, so you can probably figure this one out, but who is your person whose creative battery you can jump off this week? Did someone come to mind as we were talking? So what we would love for you to do is just to jot down some ideas on how you can best help them. Okay, what is their creative thing? What have you noticed lately? What have you observed lately with them? How can you listen? If you aren't sure how, or if none of our ideas seem to be clicking specifically for them, then maybe what you can do is ask your friend. If you just really aren't sure, but you feel like maybe you could help in some way, like maybe there's something that they're going through, just ask. And sometimes that's the starting point, is just to ask and get that conversation going and then listen.
And sometimes that takes a little bit of bravery, because sometimes getting involved is emotional work for you as well as, physical work, but it's so worth it. It's so worth being active and present in your friendships and in your relationships in your life. So we do encourage you that even if it scares you, and even if you might not want to at the beginning, that this could not only be a good thing for your friend, but it could also be a good thing for you too.
So we're excited to see what happens with you this week or month or however long it takes, and we'd love to hear about it.
Absolutely. Give us a jangle at editorial at logosandmythospress.com if you want to start a conversation. Have an excellent creative week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening until the end.
Seriously, you're a trooper.
Do you think QWERTY Writing Life is the bomb?
May, you just said the bomb.
Don't you censor me.
If you think QWERTY Writing Life rocks ice for real,
oh my word,
please rate, review, and share us with others.
If you have questions about this week's episode or want to start a conversation, you can reach us by visiting QWERTYWritingLife.podbean.com.
We'll be back next week with more candid chats for you.